AEW Full Gear Predictions Panel episode of the BCP Shameless Promo. We got to get it out of the way. Thanks for paying the bills. Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore, located in Englishtown, Flea Market, New Jersey. They are open from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the blue building. You're going to get wrestling figures, Star Wars figures, Ghostbusters, retro video games, all that great stuff. Check them out online at FunkensteinWrestlingSuperstore.com and check them out on eBay as well. Heather and Dan, thank you so much for everything and sponsoring the show. We love you guys. Also got a shout out Standalone Wrestling Contest of Champions December 3rd. We got the Super Camp for the wrestlers. We got the Fan Fest over in Toms River, New Jersey, and we have the show. The Icon Sting will be there. Jerry Lawler, Sergeant Slaughter. So, too many names to name. Kimmy's probably worked with all of them. I'm very excited. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome into the show. You know her from literally everywhere. She is Maria Kanell's personal protege. You know her from Kimmy Talks Wrestling, the BCP, thepopbreak.com, Elite POV. She's killing it right now. Almost graduating college at Excalibur. I don't know how you do it. Please welcome to the show, Miss Kimmy. Kimmy's so cool. Kimmy, what up?
Damn, way to keep that really short, Rob. I'm good. Kyle has made it to America. I'm meeting Kyle for the first time on Saturday in person. I'm really excited. I get to go to Rampage, get to go to Full Gear. I got to miss class today. It's a good day.
Love it, Kimmy. And exclusive breaking news right here. Them BCP boys will be at Full Gear on Saturday. We will be there, so I hope to see you, Kimmy. I hope to meet Kyle. And I wish this handsome guy was coming to Full Gear, man. I want to meet this guy, give him a big hug. I bet he smells good. I just feel like he smells good. He's very handsome. Please welcome back to the show. You know him from the Mr. Warren Hayes shows. And I'm not just saying this. One of my favorite podcasts to listen to every single week. He's very smart. He's very handsome. I may or may not be a big fan of his. Mr. Warren Hayes, welcome back to the show, sir. How are you?
I'm doing very well. And yes, I do. I pride myself on smelling nice.
Yeah,
there's just certain things, but it's funny because it is something that I'm like, I seek out scents, different scents. Right now, for your information, what I'm using currently, despite the fact that I work from home remotely, but sometimes you just do it for yourself, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Sometimes these at Lush Cosmetics, they have like these bars which are like a stone. And you just rub against your pits, right? The smelly pits. You rub the stone thing, and it creates granules, and it just leaves a little film. So it's cool because there's no aluminum, like as in deodorant that you get at the drugstore or whatever. And sometimes it just makes you feel icky. It makes you feel sticky and whatever. It's nice and dry, great protection. It's deodorant. It's not antiperspirant, which automatically means that it's better for you. It's not working on your brain. What were we talking? Wrestling, right? This is why we're here.
Yeah, I think so.
Guys, sponsor Warren's show, man. He smells good. Give Warren Hayes a call. He's blowing up.
Come on, Lush Cosmetics. What are you waiting for? I'm right here.
That's it, man. Warren, it's so good to have you. A big smile on my face right now. Guys, thank you for joining the chat. Please stick around, share the chat, subscribe on YouTube, all that good stuff. Joseph, Randy in the chat saying, hey, podcast team. Wayne saying, what's up, guys? Kristen Nash got to shout her out saying, evening, folks. We are excited to talk about all these Full Gear matches. I'm excited for this card. We bought tickets today. We're going to the show. Got to be there. Everyone's going. I was at Bridgeport, Connecticut last night. Stellar Dynamite show. One of my favorites there in person. It was great. Lots to talk about. Kimmy, I'm going to throw it to you. Where would you like to start first on this card?
Oh, that's never a good thing. That's kind of scary. Because everyone's gonna be like, oh, she's gonna start with Britt, but we're gonna save Britt. Britt needs her time. I'm not gonna go to Nyla because she beat me up too. Warren, I don't know if you saw, Nyla Rose is now coming after me too.
I'm okay with it.
Well, Nyla does what Nyla has to do. Let's put it that way.
Very rude. Don't worry. I'll be repping my baddies tomorrow as I should. So we're going to start with what was announced on the Tony Khan media call that I got to be on today. Because on the 0 hour, we will be having Ricky or whoever the winner is after tomorrow's Lance Archer versus Ricky Starks match versus Brian Cage in the AEW World Heavyweight Championship semifinals. And then the finals will be on this Wednesday at Dynamite.
Very well said,
Rob,
Kim.
Did you not know that?
No, that's great. No, I just threw it to you so I could do tech and share it everywhere. That being said, Kimmy, that's really awesome. And since you brought it up, let's throw it right back to you. We'll boomerang it. What do you think? What do you think about this one?
I mean, I almost said that Ricky Starks, because I think Ricky Starks should win. He should go all the way. I mean, I know that our article tomorrow, I very much fought with Mike over this match, but I think Ricky Starks deserves it. I think his promo that he cut to enter the Eliminator was so good. He's super hot right now, and I really think AEW needs to capitalize. So I think Ricky Starks is going to win.
Yeah, copy and paste, but yeah, take a drink, everyone. But gotta copy and
Good, I
paste.
have alcohol this time.
Oh boy. Ricky Starks, we gotta talk to him. I'm dropping a lot of names today, guys. I'm not trying to be that guy, but it's just happening. Get the dustpan for all the names we're dropping. We gotta talk to him at Baltimore Celeb Fest a little bit, man. And he's feeling the momentum right now. He cut some cool promos after Grand Slam went off the air. Very emotional. He's hungry right now. For all the reasons in the world, it has to be Ricky Starks. Warren, do you think it's Ricky as well moving forward?
No, there's like for tomorrow, absolutely. Like there's no tomorrow, Saturday. See, it's already Friday in my head. Yeah. No, but he is indeed winning at Rampage, and he is defeating Brian Cage as well. He is going on to fight Ethan Page at Dynamite. That is unquestionable. That's it. I think it goes with if you're thinking any other scenario, you haven't been paying attention. It's just as simple as that.
Yeah, it's very simple. I think we can move forward here. Wayne Ray Keener in the chat saying, I agree, Ricky Starks in that match for sure. Vince the Voice weighing in from Home Depot in Middletown, Connecticut. We love Vince the Voice. Jeanette Erickson, welcome to the chat. Guys, please share the chat. Let us know who you got in these matches. And since you brought her up, Kimmy, let's talk about Nyla Rose taking on or maybe defending her TBS championship against the
she's
TBS.
Not champion.
You don't say.
She's stole it. Okay?
What?
This might have got me beat up a month ago, but she's not champion. She stole it. Tony Khan has tweeted this, that any media that Jade has done, they had to get another title for her to do it because she stole it. Nyla Rose is a thief. She should be arrested. She shouldn't even be in this match. To be honest. Shouldn't even be in the match.
Are you picking Jade Cargill to win or possibly retain the TBS championship here?
She's retaining because, like I said, she stole it. There is something illegal she committed. As the fourth baddie, I need to rep my baddies. So Jade will be winning, and Nyla will go to the back of the line like she should because, yet again, she stole the title, Rob. Stole.
Wow.
I don't know what I mean. It's not hard to understand here, Rob. You know, Kimmy's put it out very plain spoken English, Rob. You live in a place where there's an Englishtown. Do you need to go to the Englishtown to speak more English, Rob? Is this the thing? I've really enjoyed this angle, and I was talking about it with Kristen, who's in the chat, by the way. Shout out, darling. We were talking about it just today, how simple an angle it is, right? It's like it's the old schooliest of old school wrestling angles. You know, nefarious heel steals the championship belt from the babyface, although, you know, is Jade a babyface? That's debatable, but steals the babyface and makes off with it, pretends they're the champion, so on. So it's like perfect, right? And ever since they started letting whoever, right? I say they started, but ever since Nyla started being her Twitter personality on TV, she has been nothing but golden, nothing but great stuff. This has been a fantastic mid-card little angle that you don't need 6 hours of storytelling to get the point across. We get it. Everyone has been playing their parts perfectly. It's just been tremendously entertaining. But Jade is going to retain. I think that there's not much of a question here. And you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of when Chris Jericho was slated to lose to Goldberg during the streak back in WCW, right? And Jericho started to do the goofy stuff with Goldberg, because he was like, look, if I'm going to lose, because I'm going to lose, right? This is the point. I'm going to lose. If I'm going to lose, I'm at least going to have a little fun with it. I'm at least going to have to try and get myself over. Now, the difference is that Goldberg pulled the plug. He was like, no, I'm not going to do it, brother. This guy's being too goofy. I ain't going to do it there.
I thought you were only saying nice things about Goldberg this year. Brother.
Once a week.
Fair enough. Check out Warren's
My show's on Tuesday. We're good.
Go subscribe to Warren's channel right now. Mr. Warren Hayes, do it. He does this bit on Goldberg. It is gold. No pun intended. Go ahead.
I mean, how many people have maintained their New Year's resolution this hard, right? Because this was a New Year's resolution to say one nice thing a week about Bill Goldberg. I've been pretty good. I've done it every week. I've been pretty good. Thank you.
Dude, I love it. And guys, really, seriously, not just putting him over because he's here. Mr. Warren Hayes channel. There'll be a big, handsome face next to it. Hit that subscribe button right now. You won't regret it. I watch it. I listen to it every week. Lots of Jades in the chat. I'm going the other. I'm getting cute today, man. I don't know what it is. I'm feeling good. I'm hyped, maybe. I'm picking with my heart a little bit, which Bill always tells me is never a good idea. Just for the sake that she stole Kimmy's hat, that made me very happy. But also because...
So you're a heel.
Real talk. I don't even know. I turned heel a long time ago. Let's be real. That's a different story. That being said, I thought it was very cool that Nyla showed up at Baltimore Celeb Fest unannounced. Not only because with the TBS championship, getting in the baddie's face, having that confrontation with you, Kimmy, having fun with the fans. But that being said, I thought it was really cool for the fans to have someone that wasn't announced going around taking pictures with the fans. Doesn't mean she's going to win, but I like that extra mile stuff. Literally extra mile where she's coming from wherever she was coming from. Not too far away.
Her home drive in Washington.
Well, I was trying not to say that, but yeah. But basically, right. Driving from where she had to drive from, go make the appearance, have fun with that. Really going the extra mile on an off day. I think that's really cool. If you're going into the psychoanalyzing of it all, it's been done before, the stealing the title. I'm never really a huge fan of it. But that being said, I like it this time around. It's fun. Like to Warren's point, this is the Nyla that we see at conventions or see it on Twitter, who's always so fun and nice and is great. And I think instead of her being which she will be, the dominant beast, Nyla is showing this personality, and it's great. So what if the mind games in itself, we've seen Jade not necessarily rattled, but maybe a little flustered, a little thrown off because of all this. Let's be real, Jade, we've said it on every podcast, is going to be a contender for the Women's World Championship. Who's going to take it off Jade? And that question is yet to be answered. I'm getting cute with this one. I'm going to say give it to Nyla right now. I love everything she's doing. Maybe I'm picking with my heart a little bit. It is not the smart bet right now. Nothing against Nyla, but I think it makes sense all because of the craziness. Maybe something with the baddies. I'm trying to think outside the box. We got Marina. We got Vicky in her corner. Why not? I'm getting really cute. I think there might be a lot, possibly, I'm getting too cute, a lot of title changes. Kimmy's so politely raising her hands.
So I'll say a couple things I said this on Elite POV, that I think it'd be cool, and Kyle shunned me for this. So in Impact, they have this thing called Option C. So basically, if you're the X Division champion, you can trade in your X Division championship to get a shot at the world title. So since Jade has defeated everybody, what if Jade traded in the TBS title and then they start a tournament, because Tony Khan loves tournaments, as he said today on the media call, and Jade beats Tony Storm. And then you get to build a new female talent for 2023. But if that doesn't happen, I think Mercedes is coming out on Saturday.
It's and those are great theories moving forward. Just in terms of Jade versus Nyla here, I know I'm getting cute. I'm gonna go Nyla. I think there's just gonna be some shenanigans or something, and this is gonna be fun. Kind of want to just have her keep that title and make it legit. But let's move forward here. Wow, people are saying Statlander is going to come back and take it off Jade. Very interesting in the chat. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Let's go with... definitely not reading this. Let's go with the Acclaimed versus Swerve in Our Glory. So much to talk about on this one. Warren, I'll throw it to you first. What do you think about this match? Because these guys have had several, I would say, possible match of the year bouts so far.
They've had some surprisingly good matches. I think they had match of the night at All Out 2022. unquestionably, and it's hard. And I mean, on top of that, like on top of anything, the Acclaimed right now is one of the top 3 acts in AEW. It's just crazy how stupid over they are with the audience, with all the shenanigans that they do, and I think it's all the more power to them, because this is what I like about the Acclaim, because I'm personally, very personally, just it's not an act for me. Like the Acclaim, the scissoring, the music videos, the rapping, it does nothing for me. It's a little too sports entertaining, if you get where I'm coming from. But I cannot but not be I cannot but not find it amazing, actually, just how these guys came together, because they were absolutely like just 2 guys that Tony Khan put together as like, be a team, and they come out, they were the prelim, cheap heat for the babyface team to just squash in a match. That's what they were doing for months upon months upon months. They do the thing with the guns. Suddenly stuff starts to click. They start getting over, and it just ballooned from there. So when you put them face to face with Swerve in Your Glory, I'm enjoying the idea of a rubber match. Each team has a win. Let's do the final one. I'm really into it. This has the potential to be a lot of fun. I think their match at Full Gear, at All Out, as much as I enjoyed the Arthur Ashe one, was a little bit better. I enjoyed that one a little more. The Arthur Ashe match was pretty good, but I enjoyed if they want to crank one out again, I'm all for it. They've had some really good encounters. Plus, on top of that, you really have to wonder, is this the moment where Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland really go bye-bye at this point? And it's just crazy how, look, we saw it this week on Wednesday, and I think this Wednesday served to remind us how much of a superstar presence Swerve has. Just coming out with the swagger and the attitude, and he looks the part. He looks like $1 million. He's a guy that you could give a reality show to. You know what I mean? And he had a fun little match with Anthony Bowens that he won, and I'm kind of feeling it. I'm kind of feeling that this is the end. This is going to be the final story bump in the Keith Lee Swerve Strickland association. I think we're moving on from this.
A lot of people in the chat agreeing with you, Warren, saying Keith Lee and Swerve implode. I'm seeing a lot of scissors in the chat. Ace on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Thanks for checking in. Do you all think that Samuel laid down for Jarrett? We'll talk about that later. We'll get to that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Very well said, Warren. I think there's a lot of moving parts here. I got some interesting theories, but I'll throw it to you, good sister. What do you have?
I have some thoughts on that Ring of Honor championship match, so we should go to that next.
Okay.
But anyway, so I'm not the fondest person that this went to a rubber match, because I think that there are so many tag teams that could have been in this spot, but I get why they did it, because obviously Swerve is going to turn on Lee to build to that match. In Keith's hometown of Texas for Winter is Coming, which is AEW's next special. But obviously the Acclaimed are going to win here. It's just a matter of time before hopefully FTR gets that shot, because I know TK got pretty feisty today when people were asking about FTR, and then he's like, they're too good, like they're so good, I have so many good people to put on TV, and I'm like, yeah, but they hold all of these titles and they're insanely over Tony Khan, so let's think about this logistically. But yeah, obviously the Acclaimed are going to win, and this probably has a chance to be match of the night. There's obviously other matches, but Acclaimed, yay.
Can we talk about FTR for a second?
Of course, brother.
Yes.
Come on, got you, bro.
Because I don't understand why people are so bugged about. When is FTR? I saw FTR wrestle 2 weeks ago. They were in Japan. They defended their titles in a great match against the United Empire. It was great. 2 weeks before that, they were in London, and they were defending their titles against another fantastic team. So because I think I blame Conrad Thompson basically for this discussion, because he tweeted out, "I miss FTR," and I'm like, bro, do you watch wrestling? We're fine. And And it's especially weird coming from, and no disrespect, I'm not trying to, but it's weird when that kind of stuff comes from Conrad, who grew up in an era where your champions didn't wrestle on TV. You'd keep them away. You'd bring them out for the big shows. Now you can argue, there's a big show now this Saturday. Where is the FTR? Okay, fine. Okay, I'll give you that. But the point being is, it doesn't matter if your champions aren't wrestling every week. And FTR happened. They were on TV last week. And they were side-eyeing the Acclaimed and their titles, dropping little breadcrumbs to an eventual fight. I'm actually right now one of the hottest matches that Tony Khan has up his sleeve, and you'd be stupid to think that he doesn't realize it, is the Acclaim versus FTR, because both of those teams are so friggin' over. And the fact that they're wearing all these titles and people are like, yeah, but give them the AEW title. They're champions in 3 different promotions. Okay, Ring of Honor, all right, but they have 3 different sets of belts. Come on. Like, I don't understand what this huge controversy is over FTR. Would I personally like to see them wrestle more? Yes, because I think they are a fantastic team. However, every match that they have had this year has been gold to super gold. So it's always this question of quantity versus quality. FTR are booked like seminal champions. I don't know what to say. Like, I honestly, frankly, don't get it.
Wow. Very interesting, and I appreciate you saying that, Warren. It kind of plays into what I'm thinking here, and I'm not getting cute. In fact, I'm not happy about what I'm about to say, and I hope I'm 100% wrong. I was at Bridgeport last night for AEW. I saw the finish to the match, and this isn't a blame thing or anything. Fantastic match. When Bowens, it was some sort of package pile. I wasn't on hard cam side, so I kind of saw it from behind. It was some sort of package.
The JTL.
Yeah, that swerve hit on Bowens. Mm-hmm. It looked real bad. I mean, I wasn't on the side, and this isn't a blame thing whatsoever. It happened. You know where you are. This is part of the business. And it looked real bad. And I was like, oh, like, I thought maybe it was his neck or something. He played up the shoulder on the way out, like the ref walked him out, whatever. But I'm thinking like, because the doctor came over right away and was checking on him. And then the ref came over later and, they walked him out and all that stuff. And, he's in good spirits. And I can't say enough good things about Bowens as a human, as a wrestler. I think he's going to be, ever since we talked to him way back in WrestlePro, just nicest guy ever. I can't say enough good things. And I think he's going to be a great single star one day. I really, really do. He's so innovative in the ring. But if you saw on Twitter today, I don't know if they're playing it up or not. Maybe I'm getting worked here. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm getting worked.
You are. He's 100% fine.
He's 100% fine.
He's fine.
I was concerned from the moment the impact hit. Like, I was like, ooh, like that didn't look good to me. Maybe they got me good. That being said, I was concerned. My gut is if you are not able to compete, you're not able to compete in terms of medical stuff, right? That's what I'm speaking of, right? If you can't go, if you want to go, but you can't. That being said, the easy fix there, what Warren was talking about, FTR comes in, we're not doing any of this interim, blah, blah, blah. Like, hey, he's out for X months. We got to defend the titles. Let's do it now. FTR takes on Swerve and Keith. Not what you want. I hope I'm completely wrong. I don't think that's going to happen. This is contingency. If I'm getting worked here. First of all, I hope I'm getting worked. I hope you're good, Bowens. I saw that ending. I was concerned before I saw the stuff on Twitter and all that stuff today. That being said, my original pick is the Acclaim. If everyone's good, it has to be the Acclaim. Like, what more can you do with Keith Lee and Swerve? Lee doesn't wrestle that much, which is fine. I think it works for him. It's perfect. But you had this great match at All Out, I believe. I thought that was the one where it's like, that might be my match of the year right now. Had the Acclaimed won there, I was like, I'm going to call that one in the ring. It's this good. The crowd's this hot. Like, do it here. Like, yeah, I know we want to wait and do it at the hometown, and that's fine too. I was there. It was great. But like, I'd rather have it not in the home because it was so good. That match was so good. Like call it in the ring, like change it. This crowd's so hot, just do it. That's a moment. Stole the pay-per-view, like you said, Warren. Then you had the second match, really, really good. A few awkward moments here and there. It was still a really good match. This match is probably going to be amazing. Like this could be a combination of all of them. That being said, I hope that Bowens is okay. That's like my biggest concern. Maybe I'm getting worked here, Kimmy. Maybe you're completely right. I hope I'm wrong. That being said, I'm going to go acclaimed. If there's an audible and contingency plan, I'm going to go FTR, strangely enough. And I hope I'm wrong on that, as Kimmy's giving me weird looks. Mike Mueller, welcome to the chat. Check out his podcast, of course, Sweet Chin Musings. Mueller is strangely in tune with WWE booking. It's crazy. Let's talk about Jungle.
And that's why he's not here.
Wow.
That's why he's not here.
Shots fight forever. Let's talk about Jungle Boy versus Luchasaurus in a steel cage match. I'm actually super excited for this one. Warren, what's your level of excitement here? And who do you think's walking out with the dub?
My level of excitement is contingent to how high Jungle Boy will fly off the cage. I think that's the given. Look, I know that the Jungle Boy Christian Cage stuff was sidetracked because of Christian's injury, and now we're sort of trying to go down a direction as best we can with what we have with Luchasaurus and so on and so forth. I feel like this story's dragged, but I also understand why it's dragged. So this has to be an exclamation mark. This has to, we have to mark this as, closing a chapter as opposed to closing a book. Jungle Boy absolutely has to win here. This is his, he needs this. He needs this win more than anything. He got squashed at All Out. He lost against Luchasaurus again on TV. Now we're doing this. He has to overcome. Cage is still going to be out for a while with the injury, so it's not something that we can immediately get into. But I hope that this is what I hope. I hope Jungle Boy wins. I hope he gets a side program to the Christian Cage thing, sort of to make us forget that Christian Cage is around, kind of thing. Give him a little something to do while Cage heals up. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Christian Cage, like in February, shows back up, and we had forgotten about him, and he just, creams Jungle Boy, and we're like, oh, okay, here we go. We're going into this next chapter. We need to warm up Jungle Boy a little more again, I feel, to get back to Christian Cage. But I say that without actually thinking that it's booking's fault. Injuries happen. We're doing the best we can with what we got here. Am I excited? It's not the one I'm most excited for. I'm curious to see what's going to happen, mostly for the outcome and what lies ahead for old Jack Perry. Does that make sense?
It makes too much sense. I was literally going to say, how do I follow that, man? I can't follow Warren when he's this hot. Kimmy, help me out here.
So why do you got to let me do it? That's just not fair.
Because you are more skilled than me. What do you got?
Because you have the bow.
That's it.
Because I have the bandana, so I'm like the present.
Bandana.
Okay.
It looked like a bow.
I tied it like a bow because I wanted to be fancy.
There you go. So, okay.
Going for the wrestling fashion when Deanna and Macklin got it, though. Sorry, Kimmy.
Well, so first of all, you rob Seth Rollins, you rob me, you rob everybody. So this is not even a debate.
And this is always a heel. It's a
no-win
situation.
Back to Jungle Boy. So I am not looking forward to this match at all. I agree with Warren. This is literally dragged out through the summer. And I think Jungle Boy needs to move on. I understand why we can't, because Christian has a boo-boo, so, we gotta wait a little bit. But Jungle Boy desperately needs this win. I hope the match is good for my own sake, since I'm gonna be in attendance, but I could really care less about this match and this feud at this point.
Oh wow, I'm actually excited for this one a lot. I like both personas. I like the cage aspect. I like what Warren said with the high flying. Real quick in the chat, Warren is on fire tonight. Incorrect. Warren's on fire every night. Check out his channel, Mr. Warren Hayes. This is why he's here. Shameless promo. That being said, I'm a big Luchasaurus guy. Like selfishly, I want Luchasaurus to win. Not a fan of the big he's heel, he's a face, he's heels, he's a face. Like, just pick one. That's fine. I know we're getting cute and betrayal and mind games, but when sometimes there's too many moving parts. That being said, I like this persona when they did Dark Luchasaurus or Evil Luchasaurus with the black mask and the the fire and the new music and the Jurassic Park. I was so in, man. I ate it right up. I love me some Luchasaurus, man.
I think we do have to mention though that and I'm glad you brought it up, Rob. That his I ultimately, at least in this leg of the story here, Luchasaurus has clearly been a winner in adopting this new, Kane-like persona,
For
right?
sure.
If we want to make like these types of comparisons, just a huge heater comes out, just runs through everyone. I think we were getting a little tired of the jungle thing, the dinosaur thing. I think it had run its course. There's a refresher for him here. So as much as I'm interested to see what they do with Jack Perry, I'm curious to see what's next for Luchasaurus, because I kind of feel like in this universe that is AEW right now, where you have guys like Malachi Black, who is clearly going to be, back soon. You've got guys like Brody King. You have a Miro who's just, hovering around. There's possibilities for Luchasaurus to get into these really fantastic big dude, I'll swing a kick at your face fights. Bring us back some of that Lucha Underground Luchasaurus that sort of exposed us to him all. And I feel like this aggressive, nitty gritty kind of persona that he's got has some value to it. So I think ultimately he's a winner here. It added some fuel to a shtick that maybe was a little tired.
Yeah, very, very well said as always, Warren. And Mike Mueller in the chat saying Luchasaurus is so good, especially for his age. He's 65 million years old. Yeah, for sure. He's killing it. But that being said, I'm excited for this match because big Luchasaurus fan. Selfishly, I want Luchasaurus to win here. But yeah, you said it, Warren, Kimmy. Jack Perry needs to win here. We've said it on the show. This is kind of the evolution, no pun intended, of Jack Perry here. This is great. I think we're going to get that moment. Besides the high-flying moment, I think you're 100% right. Maybe even Luchasaurus is a crazy high spot. I could see it. I think it's going to be Jack Perry, though, the face for sure. I think we're going to get a little, if we do it right, maybe I'm being selfish here, but like that emotional moment, like maybe some sort of conflict or like Jack is getting very like brutalized inside the cage, and there's almost some sort of sympathy or regret or something, or maybe I'll say hesitation or something like that. I like a good little like story like that. Like we came up together, so and it's just kind of like, or like, hey man, like you're my dinosaur. I gotta put you down. Like I don't know. I'm getting cute with it, but I really want to see something like that. A little.
We get an old Yeller call throwback on Full Gear this weekend.
I don't mean to laugh. You got me with, but I want a little storytelling there. I want Luchasaurus to win, but you said it perfectly, Warren. This is a build back to Christian. Do I want it to go back to Christian? Not necessarily. This whole time, even when they all started, I was like, why is Christian here? No disrespect to Christian, mouthpiece for sure, but why is he here? And they're like, they won the tag titles and they're celebrating. Christian's like, yeah, we did it. And I'm just like, no, go away. We did it, guys. We all have that friend. But that being said, I think you're 100% right. It's going back to Christian, and it's going to be fun to see this evolution and these little side feuds on the way. Jack Perry all day on this one. Where you want to go, Kimmy?
Ring of Honor.
Yes, I'm sorry. We did say we were going to get to that. Chris Jericho, the Ring of Honor world champion. I loved what he was doing, where he's just kind of taking out all the Ring of Honor people, announcers, commentators, stars that we hadn't seen on AEW yet. That was great. Versus Bryan Danielson, versus Sammy Guevara, versus Claudio Castagnoli. Man, this is going to be good. I thought that tag match was great. This could steal the show, or maybe it could get too convoluted and too complicated. Everyone's got to get their stuff in, brother. What do you got, Kimmy?
Why is Daniel Garcia not in this match? These are the things I need to know. Because, ready? So take Sammy Guevara out. Goodbye. Let's punish him too. Andrade got suspended, so goodbye, Sammy. So let's put Daniel in. And then you could set up the final battle main event where it's Daniel versus Chris Jericho, and then they combine the titles. Only in Kimmy Dreamland do these things happen. It's not happening in real life. Chris Jericho is obviously going to win. This match is going to be great, but Sammy Guevara should not be in here. It should be Daniel Garcia, and I will not accept any other answers.
Why is Chris Jericho obviously? Just because there's 25% chance, and again, like just in terms of booking.
So
yeah.
I think
run me through the math. There's a 25% chance he might win.
Well, there's 4 competitors rather. Yeah. I gotcha. Okay. Insert Scott Steiner.
1/4 equals 25%.
No, I'm a drummer.
I'm an English major. Nice. What do you want from me?
Nice.
I'm a sports major, so I'm kind of failing at this too. So Chris Jericho is going to win because they're going to try to sell the Final Battle pay-per-view. They need a big star to help sell the pay-per-view. So that's why they're going to put Chris Jericho on it to help them sell the pay-per-view. Because it is also running the same day as NXT Deadline, but the catch is this Ring of Honor pay-per-view will be running at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which is such a weird time to air a pay-per-view. So that's why Chris Jericho will help them sell the pay-per-view, sell out the arena, do all that funny stuff.
Kimmy, when you give me answers like that, I am so proud of you. You're talking demographics, you're talking times, you're talking business. You're convinced. I was like, well, why Jared? And I wasn't trying to be difficult. But you're just like, here's why. And I was just like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Am I going to pick Jericho? I don't know. Yeah, I still got to think about a lot of moving parts here. David Gold in the chat from WrestleBash. Maybe there'll be a WrestleBash 23. I'm hearing some things. Guys, check them out. Great convention. Warren, I need to just hear your answer and probably copy it. What do you got?
Well, we gotta put over Kimmy here because the business aspect of this is super important. And there's not a lot of podcasts that talk about the business side of pro wrestling. We're gonna fantasy book. It's gonna be like, are we going to get Roman versus The Rock at WrestleMania? Like, see, that's fun and all. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of people do that. We don't talk a lot about the business. And the Chris Jericho ending up with the Ring of Honor title is not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. And Kimmy is right. Tony Khan is trying to convince his higher ups at Warner Bros, Discover Bros, that they they need to give him more time for this Ring of Honor side project that he has going. And he's like, look, I've got Christopher Jericho. He is a full, former wrestling man of World Wrestling Entertainment and also multi-time champion of things. And he's a draw. Look at the ratings. Look at all of this. Look, people tune in to watch him. And, politics aside, whatever you think of Chris Jericho as aside, it's difficult to not look at the work he's been doing in 22 and not being completely in awe with what he's been pulling out. The work that he's been doing with the Ring of Honor stuff has been outstanding. I love this angle so much, and it is getting people mad so hard, and that's exactly what it should be doing. You should be mad at Chris Jericho. You absolutely have to find everything he's doing despicable and disrespectful and stupid, and it's working. And he's going to retain for the reasons we mentioned, but even on top of that, it makes a lot of sense in the story they're telling. See, they pointed it out. We saw it in the ring on Wednesday. You were there, Rob. Yeah, he tried to bring in the bat. Claudio was like, gave him the big swing, had him tap out clean to a sharpshooter, clean as a whistle. That which basically means, and unless Chris Jericho cheats, he has zero chance. So no, Sammy Guevara is not laying down for Chris Jericho. Sammy Guevara is going to help Chris Jericho win. That's what he's going to do. He's going to help him keep the title. That is absolutely a thing that's going to happen. But the thing here that we're not really talking about is Brian Danielson. Excuse me. Who's Brian Daniel?
Brian
Danielson, right? We're not talking about him and how he seems to be the odd man out now a little bit in the BCC. He's sort of Wheeler Yuta sort of been like what did John Moxley call him? His young boy, right? Like sort of itching at him, right? And Claudio has to come step between them, to break things apart. Danielson always comes out from the heel tunnel, folks. He's been doing that for months. Always, always, always. Everyone else, except John Moxley, who comes out of through the audience because he's a man of the people, so on and so forth. But everyone else comes out from the babyface tunnel. Danielson doesn't. And now he has the eye thing, right? That we're putting that over. He injured his eye in his match last week or the week before. I don't quite remember. That played a part in the tag team match on Wednesday. It's going to play a part this weekend as well. And I think he might even be an outlier in the BCC thing. Everything that the BCC has been doing this year has been absolute pristine. It's been my favorite stuff in AEW, and I think it's going to continue. This is going to be, while Chris Jericho is going to retain the title and move on to Final Battle this year, which is obviously the target, we're going to continue this story with Bryan Danielson kind of being on the outskirts of the BCC and maybe having enough of this association with those guys. I'm sort of feeling it. It'd be good. Some long-term storytelling. Who doesn't like that?
Yeah, I think you knocked it out of the park. And thank you for answering that question, Warren. Very well said from earlier, man. Is Sammy going to lay down for Jericho? I think they might tease that at some point, or maybe early, like right out of the gate, and then do everything Warren said. I was actually going to go Bryan Danielson on this one, and I've said, even when WWE so many times on the show, he's always putting other people over. He's never really about the gold, and if he does have the gold, it still goes back to putting someone over. I always feel like, not saying like the gold didn't matter to him, but just like the storytelling and putting the next generation over always seemed priority to him. And I'm doing the math on this one. I actually like the booking on this one, the Fatal 4-Way here. I think it's great because, like, all right, you got two guys from BCC. Let's do, two guys from the Jericho Appreciation Society. I'm like, all right, that's different. That's cool. Like, whatever. I like that. And they worked great together. I think the real winners, the fans, like we always say here on the show. I was going to go Bryan Danielson doing the math. I don't think Sammy, I always do the process of elimination thing. That's why the Royal Rumble picks are super long. I think Sammy has won the TNT championship. I don't think I see him winning this one. Bryan Danielson, I was kind of stuck on because, again, I feel like he puts other people over first. I don't think you hot potato it back to Claudio. Jericho, I just thought he would lose it for some reason. But after talking to you guys, I trust you guys. I'm going to go with you guys. And Kimmy, even in the comments, people saying, great logic, Kimmy. Kimmy getting the props in the comments as well. I'll go Chris Jericho. I agree with you guys. That being said, I feel like we need a fourth opinion on this one. I feel like we need to make a hot tag here. I feel like we need a fourth opinion and we need a handsome face to help us figure out who's walking out with the ROH World Championship. Please welcome the Mr. Bill Bodkin. I said Mr. The handsome Mr. Bill Bodkin from the poprate.com, #DadInstincts. What's up, handsome? You look tired.
Tired. I'm hurt. I'm old. I work with fucking children. Just trying to run a fucking business around here. Anyone got a muffin? I swear to God, I'm gonna punch some young bucks right in the face.
I'm done. How are you, man? What's up?
Just recorded episode 134 of the Socially Distanced Podcast, just to come in here to tell you that the Ayatollah of rock and rolla, Chris Jericho, he's become and still the ROH champion because he's going to drop it at Final Battle.
Wow, very well.
The Daniel Garcia, right?
No.
All right, here we go.
No, not yet. Daniel Garcia has to. There's a whole plan here, guys. I didn't sleep a lot last night, and boy, do I have a main event tinfoil hat, big dumb shit angle for you. It's gonna be great. Did we talk about Sasha Banks joining AEW yet, or what's going on?
I did.
I'm so glad Bill is here. Oh my God, let's go.
Let's go. Rob has known about this for a week.
Warren wouldn't come on unless Bill.
No, I told Kimmy, Kimmy, I'm not coming on. There's like, by the way, I didn't know if everyone was going to show up, but we had a wonderful, hey, you know what? Check out the Socially Distanced Podcast every single Friday on all your favorite streaming platforms. We just talked about Wakanda Forever. By the way, great movie. Go see it. You'll love it. Chef's kiss. Sophie Bodkin improved. There you go.
There it is. I can't
you know
wait
what?
to see this.
Let's fucking go. What do we got? What's next?
I'm thinking we talked Soraya taking on.
Oh, Christ. You bring me in for this one. Okay.
Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. What do you guys think about this one, Bill? You want to take the lead on this one, bro?
Oh, that's a terrible idea. Okay, so this is a match that is very intriguing to me because I was thinking it was going to be a street fight because it's like, what's the best way to really kind of mask someone who hasn't been in the ring for 5 years or longer to hide all their, hide their deficiencies. And listen, when I say deficiencies about Saraya, I mean, like, she hasn't been in the ring in 5 years. Like, there's going to be rust. But we're going with a straight up match here. I just hope, here's what I want to win: a good match, a fun match, a competitive match. I just am hoping this isn't awkward and weird because Saraya's run in AEW has been at times good and at times awkward and weird. So I want to see the best thing happen here. Now, the big question is this where Sasha Monet shows up to help her girl? Because let's think of this. Who did Saraya say the first person she called was when she got cleared?
Mercedes.
It was Mercedes Varnado, which is a better name than Sasha Monet. Just saying. Varnado, come on. The Varnado DDT. It writes itself, Warren. It writes itself. But, outside of any shenanigans, I think Britt Baker does the honors here. I think she's going to put Saraya over. I think Britt Baker's going to work her ass off for this because despite, I think, what a lot of people think, Britt Baker really does give a shit about women's wrestling in AEW. I don't know if people have noticed she's lost a lot more than she's won recently. And surprisingly, if you guys know this, still pretty over. So I think Saraya is going to win. I just hope it's a good match. I'm hoping that this is what I want for me. And that's what I want for Saraya because listen, she's going to be in AEW for a while. She's had a rough go. That promo started out good. And then she ended up turning herself heel. When she got cleared and she was so emotional, then she's like, hey, Britt, you mean nothing because you're not a superstar. You're like, it was right there. You had to fuck it up. But yeah, I'm really hoping Saraya wins and it's good and all's right in the world. And Sasha Banks comes out in the end and I get to lose my mind in real time in New Jersey, like I always do. Like literally every day of my life. So that's me.
We'll see you there, Bill. I can't wait to see you.
Oh, you'll fucking see.
Oh, shoot. I can't wait. Kimmy, we know you're on Britt Baker's payroll, so let's throw it to Warren first. What do you got?
That was horrible.
That was perfectly hosty of him.
It was very expertly done. I do agree. I also think Saraya has to win. And not to retread what Bill said, I'm going to, because I'm mostly in agreement with it. Two elements. I would have put Saraya on Dynamite this week. I would have had her had a match. I would have put her out there because she hasn't wrestled in forever. The first match back, you have the nerves. You have the lights are going to be shining on her. She's going to be stressed out. Why not just allow her to go on Dynamite, have her have a match with, Sky Blue? It doesn't matter. Just have her go out there and get the initial kinks out. That's all. Doesn't have to be a 5-star classic. That's not what we're expecting. Do it for her. Let her wrestle so that when she does get to Full Gear, she's got over that initial hump, the initial stress. And then all she has to do is deal with the stress of a big pay-per-view match. That's all, that's all. But now you can, I think it's reasonable to say, to assume that Saraya is just going to be twice as nervous, twice as, overcome with what's going to happen. That's my first point. The second point is, have we set up a double turn? I feel like there's a double turn that has been set up here. Because there is no way that Britt Baker's promo on Wednesday was anything else than a babyface promo. It was the most babyface thing of her. I'm rooting for Britt, despite the fact that
she just didn't kiss a baby at the end.
Right? That's all that was missing. Because she was there. Yeah, exactly. Because she was there saying, you told me I'm not a superstar because I've only been here 3 years. Oh yeah, well let me tell you, I've done this. I've become the leader and I've taken responsibility for people screwing up. It's always befallen onto me. I was in Daly's place working every day during the pandemic while you were sitting down in front of your Twitch stream. It's like so, and I'm like, yeah. And the thing here, and that's why I feel Saraya's stuff has been so hit and miss and kind of strange, because she's been coming into AEW telling the AEW fans, I'm going to fix your division, right? And there's a whole other show we could have on that topic. But I don't think anyone in any AEW fan wants a WWE superstar to come in and say, I'm going to fix everything that's wrong with your promotion, while Britt Baker is right there, carried the stupid thing for years, has become the face of that women's division, and is still the most over woman in that division. I agree with Bill. And the hate that she gets is it's beyond me. I don't understand it. It's mind-boggling to me. I have no comprehension as to why people don't appreciate her work, what she does. Yeah. And so all of this sort of culminates to me wondering, is Saraya just going heel on Saturday and Britt finally goes full babyface, which could actually help a split between her and Jamie Hayter? That's a whole other story. But I feel like the table is set. Saraya cannot continue. Let's put it this way. Saraya can continue hoping to be a babyface, saying, I'm going to change the division here. I'm here for a revolution, where it's like, brother, we didn't need you.
Yeah, really, really interesting. I'm just going to read some of the comments in the chat. Lots of Bill pops in the chat. Yeah, he's here. DGMC in the chat saying,
"Oh my God,
yeah, for you, Warren. A lot of talk there. There's a personal beef, but also saying a double turn. Very interesting. Kristen in the chat saying, I will cry when the match starts. Saraya wrestling will open the tear factory. Yeah, we got to talk about the emotion for sure. Kimmy, let's throw it to you. What do you got?
How could you? Okay, so first of all, Rob, I have another bone to pick with you, because not only are you insinuating I'm on Britt's payroll, but you then picked a criminal to win the TBS championship.
Did you ever get your hat back, by the way?
I did. You know, I know so many people were concerned. I did. I'm going to see her next week. And, you know, there might be another confrontation. Anyway.
Spoiler alert, you're gonna lose. You're the size of my kid and she's 7. So
Run.
Okay, you know what, Phil? You didn't have to waltz in here and come attack me.
Oh. You'll know when you're attacked. Trust me.
I know. So here's a stat. Every time I've picked against Britt wins. Or Britt wins every time I pick against her. So I should pick Saraya to make everyone happy, right? Because then Britt would win. So right.
So here's my other thought.
Okay.
And follow me down the primrose path here. Warren, you were saying, like, how, you know, we're getting a match here, right? From someone who hasn't wrestled, and I could easily see this degenerating into the bell hasn't even rung yet. Oh, the bell has not rung yet. And Reba and Britt are beating her up. And that's where you get the Sasha debut to help her out, and you have a tag team match. Or not even tag team match. Okay. This is Sasha is debuting, and you don't have the match, but in place of the match, you have this debut, which is actually a game-changing debut for AEW's women's division. And everyone's like, oh, shit. And then we're off to the races from there. And then that's when we can get Saraya. Then that's when we get her feet wet. Like, maybe that's what's happening here. I'm also wildly speculating. So.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
I know, guys. Wildly speculating.
I was going to say, but you weren't here earlier. I said that she would come out during the Jade match. That's what I was going to tell you.
You don't want Jade to lose to a WWE person. She's a homegrown cat. You don't want to take the belt off of her by having, the only person who can beat her is someone from WWE. Like, you don't want that. Like, it's a good idea. Like, in theory, just like, Sasha would beat Jade. But I think the optic of that is like, to AEW fans and a lot of people, it's like, none of AEW's women could get it done. So the WWE woman is going to get it done. And that's how AEW does things. The WWE people get stuff done. And I don't think you want that. I think you want Will Nightingale. You want someone, you wanted Statlander really to be the one to beat her. I think that's who you want to have, but we don't know when she's coming back. Former guest on the Bob Culture Podcast.
This is why you're here, brother. Name drop.
Oh, is my audio level better now?
It's better. Yeah. I got you, bro. Good looking at. I just want to hear that crispy, beautiful voice.
It's a
Reese,
new microphone too, so it's loud.
All good. Sounds great, man. Reese, welcome in the chat. Wayne, good night. Thanks for tuning in. Hi to the missus for sure. Thank you guys. Let us know in the chat who you got. Please share the stream. Subscribe on YouTube. Shameless promo. All that good stuff. This one's really interesting. We've been talking about it a lot. Soraya, we talked about like the promo getting better, that very real promo, and this has been interesting. Like I like the different promos. You talked about Britt's promo last night. I thought some of the things she addressed, like I thought it was very, like I try not to always look at things like heel face. I kind of like the gray area stuff too a lot. She was talking about like addiction and injury and stuff like that. And I feel like she was being very like fair, like, hey, like that's tough stuff. That's real life stuff that people deal with. And I respect you for that. And I feel like that was almost like coming from a very real place, and maybe she could relate in some way, who knows, like, or how, people go through stuff. They have family, they have relationships, all that kind of stuff, man. And I thought it was cool. I wasn't like, oh, she's full out face, but it was different. It was noticeably different for sure. And I get what you guys are saying. I think, she's kind of towing that line. Soraya, full baby face. But I like what you said, Warren, and I've been thinking about this because I see this a lot. And again, yes, I know it's the independents. I see this a lot on the independents. Like someone comes back from like a long injury and they'll have like a pre-non-taped match or like something like, hey, like let's see how you are kind of thing. And I feel like we need something like that. But should it be on TV? Like, obviously, you have to be in front of the fans. And I kind of agree with you. Like, I was clapping when you said it. I think it makes sense, like, in terms of her wrestling and being ready and nerves. And I am worried about ring rust on this one. Just because it's been how long, and it's natural. It's to be expected. And the pressure's on, for sure. But from a business decision, I can look at it as like, hey, like her first match back has to be this marquee. I get it. But I do agree with what you're saying. Like my first thought was like, let her have a match. Like let her be ready. And she's going to go out there and do what she does. And she's got to prove everyone that she is ready. And for some reason, I do think Soraya is going to win here. I think I don't know why I'm getting really cute tonight, but I think it's going to be reminiscent. It's not.
You're cute quick. Every night. Just ask your girlfriend. She'll back you up.
That was vicious. I think it's going to be reminiscent of when she beat. I don't know why I keep going back to this. When she beat AJ, and was it the Page turn? I believe was the name of the move. And it's going to be something like
the Rampage. Yes.
Yeah. Out of nowhere. Something like that, just the ending similar to that. It's not going to be a quick match or anything like that. And for some reason, I think it's going to be some sort of callback, and I'm getting very cute with these picks tonight. But the emotion should be good. I hope they play into that, and maybe a post-match handshake that could turn into like like handshake. I think there's going to be like some sort of emotion like after the match, depending on who's in it. Like if Britt wins, like, hey, you know what? You do belong here, blah, blah, blah. And Britt still toes that line, or Soraya wins. And then, like, all right, okay, welcome. And then, you could set it up either way. My thought process right now, Jamie Hayter going up, Britt going like this, and that kind of creates I mean, it's so easy to say, oh, they're going to feud because they're in a team, and, but that's kind of where my mind's at right now.
Mine's in a million places right now. Yeah. I just want to see Paige, like, listen, if she's going to be blue AEW, I'm sorry, Soraya. Sorry, there's like 7 pages in Cages and Ethan's and Soraya. There's only one Soraya. What she has to do to really acclimate herself to AEW is just a coast to coast blade job, just fucking double juice brawl with Britt. Let's do it. And by the way,
a very good point though.
I'm like, this may happen in the near future.
But honestly, that is an excellent point. Like that's probably the simplest way to get over with the AEW crowd. Yeah. Is just to go nuts and juice like you haven't juiced ever in your life before. That's a very good point.
Yeah, because there's the image.
I agree.
Because she's like ghost white, and just to see her like that, yeah.
As long as it tells a story, for sure. Ryan Peterson in the chat. What up, ladies and gentlemen? What's up, Ryan Peterson? Check him out. Working announcements and ring announcers all over the Indies. Good to see it. Reese in the chat saying Soraya versus DMD will be the women's version of HBK versus Jericho. Very interesting. Let's talk about Wardlow versus Samoa Joe versus Powerhouse Hobbs for the TNT Championship. Nunes called this way back in Atlantic City when we were at Rampage. And a lot of it was telling of just how Joe... So I'm very big on, like, blocking and stuff. And how Joe stood around Wardlow. Like, he was always... Like, he wasn't, like, always off to the side or accompanying him. He was always kind of, like, flanking him or always behind him. And I get it, like, Wardlow's a champ, but, like, there was something about it. And even in Atlantic City, after he won on that episode of Rampage, where Nunes is like, he's gonna choke him out, he's gonna hit him, and he didn't do it then, and then he did it a couple weeks later. So I think we get a great triple threat match here. Do you guys think the title changes because it's not one opponent for Wardlow? Wardlow's obviously killing it. Let's throw it to Kimmy.
Yes, there's going to be a new champion, and it's going to be a powerhouse of a champion, because this is going to lead to another final battle match. I'm so excited, because obviously, you know, Samoa Joe, in case you didn't know, Rob, he's the Ring of Honor TV champion. So they're going to set up Samoa Joe versus Wardlow at Final Battle. So Powerhouse Hobbs is going to win the TNT Championship, because this is the push that people have been wanting since All Out when he beat Ricky Starks. So Powerhouse Hobbs is going to win.
I think Powerhouse Hobbs is going to win here. Really stupid question. And guys, there is so much wrestling. Please forgive me. Did Wardlow and Powerhouse Hobbs ever have that straight up one-on-one, like recently, like not a long time
Not
ago?
recently, no.
Recently.
Yeah,
maybe
okay.
way back in the day, but no.
Okay, because that's how I thought they would have that. I was gonna say Powerhouse Hobbs wins here, and then you get that Powerhouse Wardlow one-on-one down the line, just because it's been building so long. But I love the triple threat here because Wardlow doesn't look weak. I think Samoa Joe gets pinned here personally. Bill, what do you got?
I'm gonna be in full agreement with Kimmy. I think it's powerhouse time. The dude's been ready. He's been coming off like a star ever since he had that fur coat on the frozen lakefronts of Cleveland. I mean, you're just like, okay, he's ready. He's the guy. He's got the Cody Rhodes cage. He's got the new entrance. He's ready. And I think we're seeing this thing in AEW where post CM Punk, we're going to be seeing, I think Tony Khan's like, okay, what brought me to the dance? Let's make stars. Let's have fun again. Because I think that's some of the thing with AEW, and this is a tangent. Hey, it's Bill Bodkin tangent. You know, welcome to the world. That people don't know yet if they can have fun with watching AEW again, or is AEW fun again because they have this specter of Punk, and the whole year 2022 has not been good ever since Tony Khan made that tweet on New Year's Eve that we all forgot, which feels like 20 years ago. But no, it was this year. It's always been like a little weird, and I think we're finally kind of coming around that bend a bit. And I think the other part of that bend is that Tony Khan's not going to be like, hey, even though I predict Sasha Banks is going to show up, that he's going to go with what brought him to the dance, and it's making stars. I mean, I think they've been big on Powerhouse Hobbs since the jump. And what better way to do that than putting a title on him and beating Wardlow and Samoa Joe? And I agree with Kimmy. It's going to be Wardlow and Samoa Joe for the Ring of Honor television champion. The winner of that is something we discuss on another podcast.
Very well said, Bill.
Teasing for the future for Rob.
Daniel Parker, welcome to the chat. Parker Kane Promotions. We appreciate you guys. Just had an interview with them and Kylan King. Guys, check it out on our YouTube archives.
She's great.
Sure. Oh, Kylan's killing it right now. I was hoping she'd win the title there. I was really pulling for her. Reese in the chat saying Wardlow versus Hobbs has never happened. Okay, Warren, what do you got for us, brother?
I don't have many thoughts on this match other than, you know, you have three spectacular big men, you know, like spectacular big men, because you've got big men in wrestling, you know, but then you've got like, you know, real machines like these three guys right here. So
Not big guys in red skinny jeans.
For instance.
Got him.
But you know, to be completely transparent, I am not a super fan of multi-person matches for championships. Yeah. So that's always a bummer. Like, I didn't want to necessarily bring it out on the Ring of Honor stuff because, Kimmy was so excited and I didn't want to, we in her cornflakes. But but it's kind of the same thing here where I'm like, okay, that's fine. I do see, like everyone has said, I do see the final battle outcome being Samoa Joe and Wardlow. I think that's ultimately the feud. Put the strap on Hobbs. I think we will take a pause here, and then maybe next week we'll all be having a nice post-mortem on how Wardlow's TNT championship run, how the ball was dropped on his TNT championship 100%. Run. Yeah. If he loses the title here. But like I said, we might be getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. We'll see what the result is. But I think we're all in agreement. We all seem to be feeling the same thing, that Hobbs is gonna squeak out a win here because Tony seems to want to pack up his Ring of Honor pay-per-view in December. And I think Joe and Wardlow is one that will get people salivating at the mouth.
Rob's going to hate me because I'm going to jump in on something you said.
Of course, bro.
Wouldn't it actually, because I do agree, the Wardlow TNT title run, the TNT title this year has just been in shambles since the whole Cody Rhodes winning, losing thing. It was awful. Should never have happened. They should have put it on, even though he's seems like kind of a douche. Like Andrade should have won it from that Darby Sammy 3-way way before. We would have had a different outcome and stuff, but that didn't happen, so we can't talk about it. But I feel like maybe ending Wardlow's TNT title run is the best for everyone involved. It's just move the belt to someone else, and it's almost like Hobbs is the actual reset, and you have him do a nice run. You slowly rebuild this thing as you're building Hobbs, as opposed to like Wardlow was red hot off the MJF feud, but the MJF feud got destroyed. Essentially, all that went away because of MJF stuff. So I think maybe Hobbs might be the guy to resuscitate that title, which was a really good title at one point.
I'm just going to jump in real quick. This would be the third reset, though, that because it felt like a reset with Sammy Guevara. It felt like a reset with Wardlow. And not Sammy Guevara, excuse me, Scorpio Sky.
I didn't feel like it was. I felt like it was still a mess with him. That was just me. I just felt like it was a mess.
Do you remember like that one? There was this one period where he was clearly being a babyface, just when the fans were starting to turn on Sammy because of all the French kissing, right? Mm-hmm. But there was this one period where Scorpio was a babyface, and then suddenly Dan Lambert was cutting babyface promos, and everyone was like behind him, and you're like, okay, well, this feels like a reset, but blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. Then everyone was like, Wardlow's got it, it's going to be a reset, blah, 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 blah. Now we're turning over to Hobbs again. Is it really going to be the reset? I hope so.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like you could take time. The difference here is because it was messy, and then with Wardlow, it was like, oh, he's red hot, but we had this plan. This plan went to shit. Put the TNT title on him. We'll figure it out as we go. And Wardlow's supposed to be a top guy, and they just never knew what to do. Was with Hobbs, I don't think you need to rush anything. I feel like you could take your time with Hobbs. He's had a long burn, he hasn't like that Wardlow MJF win was supposed to skyrocket him to be the guy. And unfortunately, just due to circumstances, it wasn't. So they put the belt on him. Whereas I think with Hobbs, you could instead of trying to make everything matter, like it's just like Wardlow's going to matter, put the belt on him, and then he'll make the belt matter. Like they try to make two things make each other at the same time, so it cancel each other out. Whereas this, it's like, okay, we could take Hobbs as crushing guys week after week, and then we build an opponent for him. Crushes guys, builds an opponent. Then we come up to this, and then also we'll get into Bill's mass conspiracy at the end where it all makes sense.
Very, very interesting. Nice little teaser there. Someone in the chat saying, I believe it was Reese, earlier saying Bill showing brain over brawn with that line. Very interesting. I see what you did there. All right. Let's talk about, we only got a couple left here, guys. We're killing it, hitting our times right now. Let's talk about Tony Storm, the interview.
You guys already talked about Jeff Jarrett?
No, we
No,
didn't.
we didn't.
That's on deck.
Oh, good.
Uh-oh. Tony Storm, the AEW interim women's world champion, versus Jamie Hayter. Obviously, for that interim championship, I say this every show, Bill. I know you're not going to be annoyed already, but I'm not a fan of the interim stuff. Why? Because people are hurt. Like, there's timetables and there's injuries, and people like have, bumps in the road to recovery, as we've seen so many times. And like, I appreciate the different approach in terms of pro wrestling. And yes, we're relating it to combat sports. We always have this conversation. That being said, in fact, there's a lot of news right now. Like, did Tony Khan say something in the the scrum or in the media thing?
He did.
Please.
And Rob, you know where you could see that? In my article tomorrow on the popbreak.com.
Get your stuff in, good sister. Got to get your stuff in. But yeah, check that out on the popbreak.com, please, Bill. We appreciate you for giving us that platform. That being said, I honestly got to see Thunder Rosa this weekend as she came out to the last musical.
Did you tell her that? Did you tell her it was bullshit? She hasn't dropped the title yet, Rob?
I certainly did not. I got it. It was actually pretty cool. Shout out the Last Match musical. Great stuff. Matt Cardona doing great stuff in that. It's a wrestling rock musical. It's great. So follow them on social media. Lots of good stuff to come from them. We saw Mr. LaGreca. I introduced my dad to Mr. LaGreca, and I saw a lady standing next to Mr. LaGreca, and I said, "Hi, she said, "Hi, my name's Thunder Rosa." I'm like, "I know who you are. Good to see you, Thunder Rosa. This is my dad," and that was pretty cool. So Dad got to meet Thunder Rosa, and that was Dad's first wrestling experience at the musical theater. So it was very cool. That being said, it was so good to see Thunder Rosa. I hope she's doing well. I hope she's recovering. That being said, though, don't shake your head, Kimmy. I say Kimmy's like Britt Baker all day long. That being said, though, I'm not about this interim thing. It's my personal preference. I don't like it. I don't like the asterisks all the time. We don't know, to me, health first, 100%. But that being said, going Jamie Hayter. Warren.
No.
I'm used to that.
Not yet. No,
sir.
No, please. Let's go to Kimmy.
Okay. Well, that means he's got something good. That's what that means.
Why is it always when no one wants to go, they're like, "Oh, Kimmy will go," because Kimmy will say
because no one
something.
picked me because I talk too much.
So why doesn't Bill go? I think Bill should go.
All right, fine.
instead.
We're doing this. Is this the TNT championship? Or are we?
So no, Rob, I will somewhat slightly agree with you that hold your horses there, pal. Hold your horses. First off, did you grow the mustache back in?
Yeah, it's I didn't lose.
All right, good, because now I didn't, because like there's two things, because I said, because I'll agree with that too, because if you shaved it off, I was slapping in the face.
Okay.
Because I love you.
Noted.
Because it's all out of love. But I think there were too many interim titles this year. You had an interim world champion, you had an interim TNT champion, maybe twice, and you had the the interim women's champion, and they all happened around the same time. It was all this chaos, and it was all this negativity. So yes, I think it sucks that they have this one. If this was the only one, wouldn't have a problem with it, but we've had multiple. It sucks. I think they should just make Toni Storm the champ, and because she's defended it and she's done a great job. I think she's been an excellent champion. I still you're in what Shakespeare would call a kerfuffle here, because you have Toni Storm, who's been great, and man, it would be the big payoff to have her beat Thunder Rosa. But Jamie Hayter is undeniably one of the hottest acts in AEW right now. She is fucking over, dude. And not just with our buddy Kyle. Like, she is over. And so, and I love Toni Storm. I've loved her since the Indies, in the British Indies. And this is the Toni Storm I've wanted to see. I never thought we saw this version of Toni really in WWE. It's not a knock on WWE. It's just, I never saw this version, and I'm very happy I'm seeing it. I think you got to put it on Jamie Hayter. I think you can't hold off on this. You can't delay pulling the trigger on this. They've done this with other people and it's worked. I just think they're at such a fever pitch with Jamie Hayter right now. And I could be wrong, but I think they're at a fever pitch with her. Put the belt on her. And then I hope Thunder Rosa comes back real soon. And I hope Jamie Hayter wins that belt. Not because I don't like Thunder Rosa. I think it's just that give the belt to Jamie Hayter. Let's see. If you're going to really commit to young talent, commit to young talent. The people respond to her. and she's got one of the best fucking clotheslines I've ever seen. So put the belt on Jamie Hayter. You're welcome, Kyle.
Kimmy or Warren, who's on deck? And very well, we don't always agree that much, Bill. And I'm with you, brother. What do we got?
I'll go. I'll do it. So first of all, Rob, I'm gonna say every time my dad sees Thunder Rosa, he just tells her how much I don't like her. So I'm glad your experience with your dad was a lot better than mine. Second of all, I also got to see
My dad would have
very
probably
good-
tried to hit on her, but I mean, that was my dad. You know, God bless that Bronx brawler. R.I.P. But he would
R.I.P. brother.
He would have made a couple jokes, and I'd be like, "Dad, you've been married to my mom for 40 years. What the fuck are you doing?" But anyway, Kimmy, I just
Yes.
wanted to take away your negative dad story.
Thanks, Bill. Well, I was gonna say I also saw my dear friend of me, Thunder Rosa, this past weekend. I survived. She didn't kill me. This is a very big deal. I lived. I see her again next week. Don't know if I'll say the same thing. I
Oh, good
believe.
point.
Yeah, exactly. So I believe that Britsky is going to be very upset after she loses her match. And she's going to be so upset that she's going to screw Jamie Hayter. And we're going to get that match in Winter is Coming between Jamie and Britt. And Tony will be still champ. And you know what? I agree. She doesn't need to be interim anymore. Thunder's been gone for months. And I'm saying that so unbiasedly.
Interesting thing. I'll push back a little bit on that one. So because Britt is upset, she interferes in Jamie Hayter's match just because.
Yeah, because why is she gonna let Jamie overshine her? You're talking about the girl who has literally been the face of this division for 3 years, have built the foundation. So why is she gonna let some indie chick from England steal her spotlight?
Well, that's only been her heater for 2 years, but okay, or a year.
I every time I give Kimmy some pushback, she's knocked it out of the park. Kimmy's killing it.
She put a little buffalo sauce on that.
That's
right
it.
Well, Frank's Red Hot.
Warren, what do you got brewing over there, bro?
Oh.
I'm scared.
I don't think you put the belt on Jamie Hayter at all at this point. And for the reason because y'all came up with the reasons actually.
Yeah.
The first reason is that she's super hot right now. And I think she could be super hotter than what she is right now.
You're so damn good.
And look, without necessarily copying it, look at what they did with Adam Page, right?
Yeah.
Why you could absolutely do that with Jamie Hayter. I'll tell you what the women's division in AEW needs more than anything else. It's
Sasha
feuds
Banks.
that don't involve the title.
Yes.
It's feuds for the women that don't involve a title.
Correct. Yeah.
Jamie Hayter doesn't need a title to be over. She doesn't need a title for people to be interested in what she's doing. She just needs to go out and kick ass. She doesn't cut promos. It's her work that got her over. It's just as simple as that. So on that level, I know people are going to have a meltdown on Twitter when this happens Saturday.
It's fine.
Yeah, it'll probably be gone by then. But people are going to have a meltdown when she loses. I'm that confident in what I'm saying here. And the second reason why it's not going to happen is because y'all are here talking about, oh, the interim title kind of bums me out. It sucks. Why would Jamie Hayter win an interim title then?
Yeah.
Why would the first championship you would give this super hot commodity be a title where everyone is like, and then people will be like, Jamie Hayter won the title, but it's the interim title. So who the fuck cares? Tony Khan can't belt the women properly, blah, 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 blah. You know what's going to happen. And the match, the interim title exists so that Rosa and Storm will have their rematch. That's all. That's the reason why it's there. That's absolutely the reason. And I'll tell you, just as one final asterisk here. Yes, I know personally the interim titles don't necessarily bother me. It's not a big deal. But let's go back to that period in time where we had a TNT interim. We had a world title interim. Thunder Rosa goes off. Imagine what would have happened if Tony Khan would gotten on Twitter and said, we are stripping Thunder Rosa of the title when there's precedent for interim titles. What do you think the reaction would have been? Tony, Tony Khan hates the women's division. He won't do an interim title. He did it for the dudes. He can't do it for the women. Like, he had his back up against the wall regardless of what was going on. You know what I mean? So, all in all, Tony Storm retains because the match that's going to happen with Thunder Rosa is probably sooner than we think is going to happen. It's too soon for Jamie, first and foremost. And you don't put the interim title on Jamie Hayter. Come on now, folks.
Wow. I feel dumb now. like Warren, you knocked it out of the park, man. Like, as soon as you started talking, like, you're 100% right.
I don't know if I'm right.
Not going to change my answer. We don't do that.
It makes sense. It's just like, I did a prediction show with the ladies from Tag Talk over on Fightful Overbook. And when I said, I don't think, because they were like, yeah, Jamie's winning. I don't think Jamie's winning. They both covered their mouths. They were like in shock. They were like, "How?" It's like I blasphemed. As if I had summoned Azathoth from the depths of the seventh level of hell. It was ridiculous.
Seaside Heights at 1 o'clock in the morning at the local bars, man. So I know all about. Done that a few times.
Exactly.
Kicked his ass.
Oh boy.
But yeah, Warren. Shock of shocks, you Canadian guy, you make sense. You make sense.
Always.
Kyle's gonna be so pissed when she loses. I have never met a person who's loved Jamie Hayter more maybe than Jamie Hayter's parents than our friend Kyle.
All right,
and look, just as very, very quickly, and to move on this topic at the same time, it's like, I feel like hot take culture has poisoned us in our appreciation of pro wrestling like this for multiple reasons. Like, we have to have a reaction, right? We have to, this sucks, this happened, it's terrible. Whereas we seldom don't take the time to just sit back and like think about what's going to happen. So of course, Jamie Hayter on Saturday, when she loses, everyone's going to lose their mind. They're going to say she's super over. Everyone loves her. Why is she losing? Well, I don't think it is a good decision to make her win. If Tony Khan decides to go like that, I'm going to be in the minority where I'm saying this is not a good call. But I think like hot take culture has brought us to this on certain levels, on multiple levels, where we have to react because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to have an instant hot take, as opposed to just like letting it sink in, think a little bit, like just let it marinate for a little bit, and when you marinate stuff, what happens? It becomes tender, becomes juicy, delicious. There's an extra level of flavor to what you're doing.
Thinking of that stew my wife ate 2 weeks ago. Fuck.
God damn. It sounds great.
Oh man, you guys are so smart and handsome. And you guys are awesome. And Kimmy,
you're smart. Kimmy, you're smart and handsome.
No, Kimmy's knocking out.
You're a handsome woman.
I already.
You ever hear that phrase that never makes sense? You're a handsome woman. And you're like, what the fuck does that even mean? I don't get it.
No. I already put Kimmy over like 3 times. Let's talk about.
He did. He said I was so smart. I was like,
I was very impressed. Very impressed with your answers today. Sting and Darby Allin versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. Out of nowhere. Bill, you've been chomping at the bit for this one. What do you got for us?
So many people are mad about this match, and I laugh at all of you. I have been watching Jeff Jarrett wrestle since he was simply irresistible Jeff Jarrett in USWA. The guy, he is the cockroach of pro wrestling, and I mean that, and not Theo Huxtable's best friend. I'm talking about... Like, he's like life, man. He finds a way to just show up. He is the last outlaw. That's no bullshit. He's like Terry Funk, but less cool. And it's just like,
cool. Very, very less cool.
No, I mean, like, I'm being nice. Like, listen, did I once drunkenly yell, "Why are you selling gold?" to Jeff Jarrett as he was climbing a steel cage, fighting Pat Buck? And he got really mad at me and told me to go fuck myself? Maybe. In a Catholic school in Keyport, New Jersey? Who's to say? Actually, a couple people can verify that. Anyway, this match is wild because everyone's like, why is Jeff Jarrett here? Jeff Jarrett's a fucking legend, and this is a legend match. He could still go, and he can still do things. The thing I don't get is Tony Khan's obsession with Jay Lethal, who's on every fucking show. Like, I don't get it. Like, listen, I have seen Jay Lethal since he was wrestling in his first few matches. I did PR for an indie show that he did a TLC match on, and I told him about it, and he laughed his ass off because it was a terrible match. But like, I don't get some of these things. I already know Kimmy's answer, and Kimmy's answer is super sound and super logical. And I can't agree with it because I cannot bring myself to say that JEFF, JARRETT, that gold selling Tennessee two-stepping motherfucker is going to beat my dude Sting in my home state. I just can't see it. Sting is going to no-sell 16 guitar shots. I am going to lose my voice, and it's going to be amazing. And Sting is going to somehow tap out both Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh. Darby Allin could be taking a nap in the corner. It doesn't matter because Sting is the coolest son of a bitch because I came up with Cool Dad Sting a year ago, and Kimmy told him, and he popped for it. So fuck everyone else. Sting's winning. He's probably not. But, like, I just have to go with him. I can't pick against the guy who's had the best, most fun Legends run I can possibly imagine ever. When Sting debuted a few years ago in AEW, I was like, I love Sting, but we see this in TNA and it wasn't good. And it turns out like, wow, this is what, don't take offense, Kimmy, this is what we should have seen in WWE, but it didn't happen. And I blame not your boy Seth Rollins, because things happen. I blame old Banana Nose, Papa H, who decided, oh, I'm going to beat Sting at WrestleMania because I'm fucking cool. No, you dickhead. You should have lost because he's Sting. You know why? Because you could have made a lot of money with Sting, but you didn't because you're dumb. But anyway, but he's the Booker of the Year, of course. Whatever. Fuck that guy. Whatever. Is like, anyway, Sting, Darby. There we go.
Has Sting lost any match in AEW in any?
And nor should
no, he is not.
Sting.
You know when the last time he
2.0
lost?
power bombed him through a table. That thing could have been laced with hand grenades, and he still would have got up. And I'm okay with it.
You like that stinger, huh, Bill?
Fuck you. I tried convincing my parents to get me a flat top and dye my hair blonde when I was 8. When I was my daughter's age.
Brother. It's never too late.
And they were like, "You're dumb. Don't do that." And they were right.
No. That's an Insta wrestling fashion win right there for you, Bill. That being said, why lose here? Like, why now? Why here? Why do these opponents?
I mean, I know why, and Kimmy's right, but, you know.
So, all right, Kimmy.
So, first of all, I love how Bill likes to complain of, like, how over I am about Seth Rollins, but he just sat here for a good 5 minutes to be like, Sting's going to do all of these things that are not going to happen. So,
right, and here's the thing.
Yeah.
I bring it up one time in the match Sting is in. I don't talk about a New Japan match, and you're like, Seth Rollins would win that match. Cool. He's not there. You're like, you know, it'd be a great member who would be a great person to answer Chris Jericho's challenge, Tyler Black. Well, he doesn't exist in AEW. I'm talking about Sting and real life things that have happened with Sting. Was the hand grenades thing a little bit of hyperbole? Get a dictionary and look up the word. Yes, it was. And this Kimmy does it all the time. She's like, what does that mean? I'm like, look it up. So yes,
I know what that word means.
You don't. It's just like, so yeah, the hand grenades thing is fine. But I'm not bringing up Sting in every single match. But like, who's going to win? Hey, Jamie Hayter or Tony Storm? Sting. Or Tony Storm dressed as Sting. Although that would be fucking cool. Anyway, I need to go refresh myself because I'm a little sweaty right now. So.
Okay, bye.
Go ahead, good sister.
Okay,
what's your full theory?
So this is why Jeff Jarrett's going to win. Because it's Jeff freaking Jarrett. Okay, first of all, do you know what this man has done this year? He wrestled in Ric Flair's last match. He was the special guest referee in SummerSlam. He's been everywhere. So why the hell are we going to have Jeff Jarrett lose? It's Jeff Jarrett. We love Jeff Jarrett because Jeff Jarrett has made us believe that he is God sent to professional wrestling. And he's been to all of these companies and done all of these historic things. So Jeff Jarrett will be winning because it's Jeff Jarrett. So Bill, I'm really excited for you to see your favorite lose in person.
Wow.
He's not here. He probably didn't hear me.
Warren with that real nonchalant sip over there. What do you got, bro?
Maybe not necessarily the one where I have the most thoughts, but one thing that I've always liked about AEW, and I think is really successful when they put their mind to it, is giving a little bit of everything on a Dynamite, or on a pay-per-view. Little something here, a little something there. You get your PWG style trios match. You get your insane tag team match. Oh, and then you get something a little more grounded, a little more, a brawl that might take you back to some All Japan stuff that you saw maybe in the 90s or whatever. And this is what Sting and Jeff Jarrett represent to me. This is like, old, my upbringing in wrestling, the nonsense in TNA. Jeff Jarrett constantly failing up, like it's a series of memes, this match, and I'm fine with it. It's not going to be a 5-star match. Who cares? People are going to pop the shit out of their seats when Sting no-sells the guitar. It's just as simple as that. We're all gonna find it fantastic. And Sting's gonna get the win. He's gonna get the Stinger splash. He's gonna play the hits. That's what people want. And I agree. Like, there is no legend, there is no guy that old, that in advanced stage this year who has had a better comeback. Now, Jarrett makes like $1 million. I don't know. I don't know amongst you here who saw the Ric Flair match, but
Kimmy did. I believe in self-care, so I didn't.
Okay, well,
I was there.
You were there on top.
That's right.
Of that.
You were there. Yeah.
Holy smokes!
So many questions.
Jarrett carried that match. Like,
yeah.
He just made sure everyone was hitting their spots. He was making sure that everyone was taking care of Rick, and he looked good. He looked fat. I thought his match with Effie was perfectly serviceable. The one that they did at GCW at the
Hammerstein,
at the World. Mm-hmm. So it's like everything is. Jarrett is going to pull his weight here. That's the thing, and everyone's going to pull their weight. This match is absolutely okay. It's gonna be whatever it is, and we're here for some Jeff Jarrett Sting interaction. That's what we want, but without having to sit through a 10-minute singles match. And this is why I appreciate this run that Sting is on, is because he doesn't have to carry this all by himself, which could potentially be a disaster. It's a little smoke and mirrors, but look at the memories that this is creating. Look at what we're thinking when we're talking about Sting and his run. We're being like, Jesus, what a fantastic run he's been having, but it's all been tag team matches, it's all been multi-man matches. And that's genius, actually. It's perfect. It's working fine.
Yeah, man.
And Jeff Jarrett called everyone slap nuts, which popped the shit out of me.
Oh, boy. But guys, of course, you can see Sting at Full Gear this Saturday, not Sunday. This Saturday at Full Gear. And you can also see Sting December 3rd. Shameless promo. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Contest of Champions. Sarge is going to be there. Sting's going to be there. Matt Cardona's going to be there. Nick Aldis and a bag of potato chips is going to be there. Get your tickets now. Toms River, New Jersey, December 3rd. That being said, guys.
Why is there a bag of potato chips going to be
And
there?
and from what I understood, it's accompanying Nick Aldis.
Wait, what? No.
Right? The bag of potatoes the bag of potato chips is with Nick Aldis. Is that what I'm understanding?
So I don't know how Excalibur does it. That's it. Well, we're at the end of the line here. Is this the point in the show where Kimmy yells at me?
Yes, you're forgetting the trios match.
That's
with the Elite, and then the main event. What the hell, Rob?
No. Well, I was going to say, is this the point where I say it's the main event and you yell at me? And yes, it is. My timing's getting better. Let's talk about it, Kimmy. What do you got?
It is the return of the people who never lost those titles. The people who their appearance was the first question on the media scrum today. The Elite versus the Death Triangle. Is this where I also say my prediction?
Yes.
Okay. If the Elite somehow lose, it is the dumbest decision Tony Khan has made this year. The Elite will win. And then the House of Black will come out at the end and everyone will be so happy.
Oh, you might be right about that little surprise at the end there, Kimmy. I've been kind of up and down on Death Triangle like the whole time they've been together, whether someone was injured or someone was out or there were visa issues. I always felt like, Penta
You
and Phoenix...
also hate factions.
Oh, I hate faction. No, I don't hate factions. I hate over factionism, and that's definitely been another consistent on the show for sure. That being said, Penta and Ray are two of my favorites in AEW or wrestlers of all time. That 6-man on Dynamite, guys, the most vicious day of AEW I've ever seen. I'll leave it at that. That being said, Ray Phoenix, AR Fox in that match, that was amazing. 6-man tag, very, very, very good. It was awesome. I love that match. I wish it was on a pay-per-view just like that. No commercial breaks, no nothing. Selfishly, I want Ray Phoenix and Penta to just be together without Pac, but at the same time, I don't want them to lose the belts. I just feel like Pac has always been the heel. They've always been the faces. It's never quite worked until recently. Now that they've won the belts, it's starting to gel, but I feel like they're going to lose them, like Kimmy said. The Elite allegedly or apparently didn't do anything wrong, weren't in the wrong. I don't know what happened. None of us know what happened. That being said, it seems like hopefully everyone's happy. They get the belts back. I kind of want Phoenix and Penta selfishly to separate from Pac. And to Bill's point, I'm not huge on the factionism anyway, and everybody's happy. Warren, what do you got?
But the Elite win. Thank you very much, and I'm glad they're back.
I love it.
I mean, it's really just as simple as that. And I think the pay-per-view needed something like this at the same time. I think it needed the Elite showing back up and getting people maybe squeezing a couple of 1,000 extra buys out of people. Were like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll tune in. I want to see the Jacksons and Kenny again. Sure. I mean, all points to this match being a potential show stealer. I think there's 2 show stealers on this match here. This one here and Tony Storm and Jamie Hayter. We spent so much time talking about the titles, but I think this match has the potential. The women's world title match has the potential to be the best women's match that AEW has put on so far. But I digress. Back to the trios. If these guys look, we know the Lucha Bros and the Jacksons have ridiculous amounts of chemistry. We've seen Pac and Kenny Omega go at it on singles. They're fantastic. All the elements are there. What are we even talking about? This is going to be great.
Yeah, and I should have said that earlier, but you're right. A lot of favorites in this match. Bucks are always crisp. Kenny, this is going to be a lot of clean, crisp work. I love the high flying stuff. I'm here for it. Potential show stealer. Should I go match? I don't want to get ahead of myself. Show stealer. I'm really excited for this one, Bill.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did these guys fight in the finals for the trios title?
I was thinking that too. I forget.
Because that's the thing. Like, who did they fight in the trios, Kimmy? Since you're
it was the Dark in the finals.
Finals. Oh, it was Dark Order.
Yeah, it was Dark Order.
A lot of things happened that night. So,
yeah,
I look forward to this because everyone has a rich history together, a great chemistry, and like Warren said, like this is like kind of, and going off one of my points too, is this is the return of the fun, and this is just going to be the stuff that put AEW on the map, and this is the return of that, and it's like, okay, everybody, it's like we're home now, so let's forget all that stuff happened, because remember, we barely have had Kenny Omega for nearly a year. We had like 3 matches. And we haven't had him essentially for full time for a year. And the Bucks had a pretty solid year, but we'll see them back. And I'm looking forward to just finding out what's going to happen. And, Warren, I saw a clip from that podcast you did, and they were talking about how the AEW doesn't have that focus on the tag teams right now as they should. Then they don't. Whoever said that was 100% correct. But I think now you're going to see with the Bucks back, they're the tag team bookers, man. You're going to see the focus on the trios and the tag teams. And I think seeing fun trios matches and developing new fun trios is just going to be great. I don't know if we get it would be very awesome if House of Black came out at the end. That would be super cool. I actually think I wouldn't be stunned if they kicked the pay-per-view off with this, but just to get the crowd going.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
And House of Black coming out for that would be cool. And you've got a lot of stuff we can do here. And eventually, I think the feel-good story for this is Hangman and the Elite back together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a great card. Like, I have a lot of theories on these matches. It's really great. I'm glad I'm gonna be seeing you, Kimmy, and Bill there. And guys, I think it's time for the main event. We got Jon Moxley, the AEW.
I just love how Orange Cassidy does that now. And he has his own microphone. I'm just like,
I
I'm
popped
like,
for it.
this is good. This is good.
John Moxley, the AEW, not interim world champion, versus MJF. We've seen so many theories here. I heard theories when I was leaving the venue last night that I was kind of like, oh, Bill has kind of been teasing. He's got some things in the work on this podcast. Some things are painfully obvious that maybe they're a red herring or a misdirect. There's so much going on. Bill, do you want to go first so someone doesn't steal your thunder?
No one's gonna fucking come up with this dumb shit I have.
So you want to take it home?
Yeah, no, I'll do it. Fine.
Okay.
You know, listen, I'm like I slept like 2 hours last night. I'm ready to go.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm sick. Then things aren't working well. So I think the greatest trick the devil ever pulled is convincing the world he didn't exist. And the very obvious version of that is MJF is the heel. He hired the firm. Yeah, no shit. Why do you think that pop didn't happen last night when he was beating up the firm? We all know it's fake. We all know this is all a ruse. But the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was that he's William Regal. And William Regal is actually going to be the J.J. Dillon, I think, to MJF's Ric Flair. I think he is going to turn on Moxley. And I don't think he's the only one to turn on Jon Moxley. I think young Wheeler Yuta is going to turn on Jon Moxley and join MJF. Why, Bill? Why is everyone's favorite steel drum playing son of a bitch going to turn on Jon Moxley in the Blackpool Combat Club? Well, don't forget he had problems with Bryan Danielson because Bryan Danielson was fighting for the heart and love and affection of Daniel Garcia, Wheeler's number one rival. Jon Moxley referred to him as a young boy in a promo. Shooter was his young boy. He carried his bags. Wheeler Yuta was in Best of Super Juniors. He was ROH Pure Champion. And who was the only guy to show Wheeler Yuta respect? Maxwell Jacob Friedman shook his hand, something he has never, ever done. He shook Wheeler's hand after that match. And you might be saying, Bill, you're going crazy right now. And you're goddamn right I am, because I'm not done. Because we are going to get that faction that the Pinnacle never was. The Pinnacle should have been the greatest thing going, but it wasn't. And that's why I think potentially you could add 2 more people to this group. You need some muscle. The boring answer is W. Morrissey. The awesome answer is Powerhouse Hobbs. Why? If you're looking to build the next generation of top young stars, why not take the biggest, baddest, scariest son of a bitch that you have, put him with Maxwell Jacob Friedman, give him the rub that he needs, allow him to become a star and also a muscle and the fearsome beast that you unleash on your opponents. And then finally, well, fuck it. Who's the Tully? Who's going to be the guy who is going to rival MJF? And he's got nothing to do. He's got no friends. His other friends try to murder him. And who's eventually going to have the dissension with MJF? Adam Cole, baby. These 2 guys running roughshod. And what does Adam Cole do? Adam Cole becomes the Ring of Honor champion. Everyone's draped in gold. And there you fucking go. That is your new 4 horsemen. That is your faction that runs AEW until Max and Adam decide they don't like each other and they're going to fight. Will that happen? Of course it won't. But it's a pretty fucking cool idea. I have a lot of time on my hands. But I do think that Regal does turn on him. And I do think there is a better than 0% chance that Wheeler does turn on Moxley in the Blackpool Combat Club. Well, and also, if you put that faction together, what does that give you? Well, you have immediate built-in rivalries with Wardlow, Ricky Starks, the Elite, by extension, the Dark Order, and just about anyone else, because those are 4 guys everyone fucking hate. So, yeah, you have good stuff coming here. But long and short of it, Max is going to win this because he deserves to win this belt. He is so fucking over. He's going to be in a major potential Oscar bait movie next year. The dude is doing things, cutting the best promos of his life. And we were talking about waiting. The time is here. We have hit the 0 hour on MJF. It is time to put the belt on him. And Tony Khan, I swear to Jesus Christ off the cross, if you hear this and use my idea, fucking hire me. I hate my job. Just hire me. I got more great ideas. Imagine if what that took me on a car ride from my house to the Jersey Shore, what I could think of getting paid full time to do it. You're welcome. Good night.
That's it. Because Bill Bodkin's better than you, and you know it.
I mean, not true.
You're pretty great. You're pretty great, Bill.
Oh,
I think you hit a lot of things on the head. Like, you kind of lost me at the faction thing. Like,
yeah, you heard the word faction. You're like,
pretty much, yeah. Well, plus around like MJF, like we seen how the Pinnacle worked out. Like this,
but it didn't work. It should have worked better.
True.
And this is why I'm saying, like, big fetch happened, guys. You fucking owe me for fucking up. How could you fuck up that group? And they did.
But even like the firm, like it's again like so many moving pieces, and the only thing I did like about the firm, and I'm not talking about individual people, I'm talking about like the idea of like a faction on retainer. Like I thought that would like apply to everybody. Like I thought that was kind of a cool something. And it still can. I thought that was interesting. Maybe that'll come into play actually, Bill. Like, you know, someone else gets the firm. But I think like the big thing is like, they're trying to get us because, you know, Max really is. And first of all, I love that he's towing that line so well. He cut a big promo after they went off the air last night. You guys check it out on our channel. And it was really, really cool. It was super face. He called Tony out. They had a conversation. He's putting Tony Khan over. I almost got a cavity. It was so sweet. Like, it was really, he's really towing that line. And to me, if there wasn't the pay-per-view this Saturday, not Sunday, I think that you should just drag that out. I like it when people toe that line. Again, I'm not so like, you know, it's interesting, and it's funny to see how people can execute that. That being said, strike while the iron's hot. Excuse me.
What?
Bill said, 0 hour. Like, now is the time to put the gold on Maxwell Jacob Friedman. I'm walking out of the venue, and someone says to me, because I don't know when it actually went off the air last night, but you see Moxley walks back through the heel tunnel. MJF is in the ring as it signs off, and Regal's at the top of the ramp, and he's still on the ramp. Mox is already back there. I don't know when it cut off. I don't know if the camera showed Regal. I'm guessing no. I don't know if it did or not. Which is telling. But Regal's just looking back at MJF, but like kind of looking at him, like, you son of a, whatever, like blah blah blah. I'm with Moxley, So I don't know. And I'm literally leaving, and the guy next to me goes, "Oh, it's Regal," and I'm just like, "Yup." But now everyone's kind of saying it's Regal, so it's making me think it's not. Regardless, MJF right now, it's time. Mox, Renee, have a great vacation. Very well deserved. Very, very well deserved. Max going to hold the title for a while. Will he still toe that line? I think maybe he should.
2024.
I think it would be fun. And then you got to, maybe drop it when you go start filming that movie. That's where I'm at. Is it going to be Regal? Is it going to be something completely out of the blue? I like this booking because there's so many theories and moving parts. Throw me off. Fool me. I think it's going to be really interesting. I'll throw it to Kimmy. Warren, you can take us home. Kimmy, what do you got?
Oh, Rob, you're kind of thinking, but you're not. And I hate that I talk to Bill every day because we have the same theory, but minus one thing. It's not going to be Wheeler. It's going to be Bryan. Instead of Wheeler that turns. But hold on. We'll get to that in a second. So this is why it's going to be Regal. So remember that first promo that they cut in the ring and they were talking about brass knuckles and MJF could have hit Regal with the brass knuckles.
Oh, right,
so let's do full story, right? What if he used these brass knuckles to win the title? Storytelling, people. WWE, I think you should take notes. So Regal and MJF,
they produce movies, brother. They produce movies.
Oh, okay. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah. So Regal and MJF, buddy old pals, champion, yay. But we talked about this earlier. Bryan's feeling pretty left out in the BCC. He's angry. He's frustrated. But one thing is that him and Regal have always been close. So if he wants to evolve and better himself, let's move on. Let's follow Regal. Let's see what this new kind of faction's going to bring him. Maybe some better success. So it will be Bryan Danielson. It will be MJF, and it will be William Regal. Together again. Yay.
Interesting. A lot of faction stuff going on here. Warren, the voice of reason. I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ, not with what I'm about to say.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
So,
Oh God, I hope it involves like Godzilla and 10 other things happening at the same time. It'll be fucking great. Bruce Springsteen shows up. It's a fucking rager.
I love the path that Bill set up, and Kimmy, I think, just cherried this beautiful Sunday with Bryan Danielson being the guy who turns, because Danielson's been he's been a little pissy. He's been I've got the new kid telling me I shouldn't have met my hero, kind of thing. Well, fuck you, kind of things. Like, you don't get to sit under the greatness that is Bryan Danielson, the best wrestler to ever do it out of North America. You don't get that, kid. I'm gonna go complete other path, because the line that sticks to me as well was the greatest trick the devil ever pulled thing. What if CM Punk made us believe?
Fuck.
What if the devil made us believe that the greatest trick he ever pulled was making you believe he didn't exist, that he was gone? And what if he's not? And what if he shows up? And what if he and MJF high five, shake their hands, and they're like, Tony Khan, we're taking you down, you motherfucker. Because
motherfucker is what you're working for.
Yeah, that's what. Yes, I'm Canadian.
I know you're very polite.
Because both of them have issue. Real or not, can have issue with it. MJF left for a couple of months, right? He was like, "You're not paying me enough, so on and so forth," and all of a sudden he's off TV. CM Punk, well, we don't have to rehash that tread, right?
They both eat muffins in the ring at the end of the night.
I'll go to Mindy's. I'll end up going to Mindy's for the night. But look, I'm doing this just out of pure fantasy, because I myself have trouble believing it. It is the most tinfoil hat thing to do, right? Because there are so many elements that connect too hard with real life to really say the whole thing was a work. People were fired, lawyers were involved,
right? Yeah.
Stockholders were worried. Well, I mean, there's no stockholders, but I mean, like, people involved in AEW who had an interest.
I'm sure Warner Brothers was concerned.
There was a lot of concern that came out of this, and there's so, and then on top of that, here's the thing, is that if everyone feeding the news sites, telling them things, Matt Hardy coming on his podcast and saying, the elite did nothing wrong, so on and so forth. So many people in that locker room spilling beans on different levels. You don't know who exactly, but that would mean that you would have to have dozens upon dozens upon dozens of people involved in this work, which is quite possibly impossible to pull off. Because what's the opposite? Working your locker room, which is a terrible idea. Because, just in case, just to make sure we're all on the same wavelength,
indie promoters,
if management starts working the locker room, it creates paranoia amongst the members of said locker room, because you don't know who to trust. And worse than that, you don't trust management. You don't trust the booker, because the booker could be out to fuck you and you'll never really know.
There it is.
So there's still so many things that defy conventional wisdom in seeing that to show that CM Punk can't show back. He can't come back. He won't be back. But by God, okay? And again, we'll talk about this next week, starting Sunday. We'll figure it out. If it did happen, just if, greatest work of all time, greatest wrestling work of all time. Might have started to shoot. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah. And then everyone realized, oh shit, we can make money with this.
And then, everyone cools down because they haven't been talking much about the video game either.
It's just
little things. Don't forget, CM Punk is on the cover. Are you telling me that they really couldn't? There's not enough time to change the cover art. The game hasn't gone gold yet. What are you talking about? Like,
it's not even out.
It's not out. It's not even it's not even finalized. They haven't blocked in the code, which is going gold. That's what it is. It's like there's so much still lingering, still there that you could get your yarn and your push pins and start connecting. You absolutely could. But there's just, and the Colt Cabana stuff, like there's too much real shit. Tony Khan I'll tell you, the biggest red flags that I have here in regards to, holy shit, maybe, just maybe, sure, MJF is dropping the lines, right? He's dropping the lines, but it's MJF. MJF knows how to work the audience. He can try to make them believe one thing, pull one way, but then go the other. That's fine, right? Tony Khan always saying, I can't comment. And and today, didn't he say on the junket that, but I appreciate his contributions? I'm like, okay, that's one. Okay, fair, very corporate. It's nothing out of nothing unusual, but it's interesting nonetheless. The timing is, but Dave Meltzer has always been, over the past 2 weeks, I'd say, being particularly vague, dropping stuff like, I know stuff from both parties, but I can't talk about it. I can't speak on it. It's like, sure, no doubt. But then he's like, theoretically speaking.
Yeah, I saw this. Yeah.
Theoretically speaking, do you really think that the Colt Cabana stuff is, do you really think CM Punk is, what would you think if CM Punk was connected to the Colt Cabana stuff? It's like, but theoretically speaking, you're like, okay, Dave, what do you know?
Just the spitball in here.
Just what do you know? So these are all, I mean, look, I am completely aware right now of how insane this sounds, but there's the thing with the work shoot that you always have to keep in mind is that the question that you always have to get to is, how is this going to make money? That's the thing. And in this situation with this work shoot, there is a lot of fucking money still to be made. That's the thing. That's why it's not like, oh, is Nick Aldis and Billy Corbin a shoot? Who cares? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's being handled poorly. No one is going to make a dime off of whatever they're doing right now.
Well, Tyrus wrestles the NWA style, so he's going to make money.
He's going to be fine.
He'll be fine. He's on Fox News.
But the point is that you flip this around. You end up you're like, why would you work shoot your audience like that as well? Because there's people who are going to be so super mad to have been worked if that's the people. But people are still good. People are going to tune in droves on Wednesday night to see CM Punk and MJF in the ring together, cutting a promo, letting it all hang out if it happens.
Well, Warren, look at all the people you just mentioned who have been talking. Matt Hardy, carniest of fucking carny.
Oh yeah, and a friend to the Jacksons, absolutely.
Yeah. Chris Jericho,
mm-hmm.
Everyone else. No one who's not an old school quote unquote brother, hasn't said a peep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you haven't heard Ricky Starks say anything. You haven't heard like Ethan Page. You haven't heard Dante Martin. People like that. Orange Cassidy obviously is not talking, but it's like, it's the people who are the veterans who people are going to listen to, who are the lightning rods for controversy as you speak. Even Cabana talks about a lot of it too. He had an Art of Wrestling stuff he was talking about. I didn't listen to it yet, but he talks about in vaguer terms the story. But think about this. They're on the hook with CM Punk for millions. Why not get the most mileage out of it? And if you're CM Punk, who was on an MMA thing the other day, he's like, I'm here for the fights. Don't worry, I'm not going to get involved in one. If you're involved in a fucking lawsuit and shit's going down, you don't make a flippant joke like that.
Yeah.
But again, it all could just be, nothing happens. But fuck, man, if it did.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
They would be raw in ratings for the next week. I guarantee it.
A couple people in the chat saying Warren might be onto something here. I want to actually shout out
Again, it's all tinfoil.
Like I just want to be clear, because I'm sort of just doing another level of discussion, because Kimmy and Bill, I think, have an extremely probable scenario that makes sense. And no, but it makes sense, and it would be exciting. And I'm just like, okay, well, look, let's go crazy a little bit, but I am not advocating this. Do not go out there and say Warren Hayes told it.
Gotcha.
We're just spitballing here.
Inside brother Warren Hayes is like, telling us the truth.
That's the
page. There's only one insider on this podcast. We know Kimmy.
I'll tell you one thing. If that happens on Saturday, I'm fucking playing the lotto. I'll tell you one thing.
My dude. Love it. I do want to read this comment before we get to the shameless promo, and good stuff, guys. I'm seriously just like very proud to have you guys here. Like, sure. This is a great show, and you guys are also very smart and in touch with everything. Like, I'm very excited for Saturday.
Kimmy's very color coordinated.
Yeah, for sure.
You missed it. We talked about this already.
I ran in from another podcast.
Does she have a bow on? Does it look like it's a bow, right?
It's a bandana.
She's going for a new Jack look.
Oh, see, I called it a bow. I'm so fucking old. Okay.
I thought it was a bow too.
Join the club.
Reese in the chat, I thought this was worth saying on the pod before we close out. Reese, if you are right on this, I'll give you a spot on our next AEW panel. And Reese, and thank you so much for always supporting the show.
If you're right, I'm going to give you a smooch.
Thanks for always supporting the show. We really appreciate it. Rob, I'm going to out crazy Bill. When MJF wins, it won't be Regal turning. TK becomes the Bischoff of AEW. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Okay. Reese, respectfully, could that happen? Yes, it could. I can 100% see why you would say that. To me, personally, again, respectfully, don't take this the wrong way. I hate that idea. I get why you're saying this. Traditional wrestling mindset of the last 20 years, you'd be like, yes, that makes all the sense in the world, especially given that promo. Those yarn things you're putting together, perfect sense.
Yeah.
I personally I don't need Tony Khan as a heel. I saw Vince Russo do it. It was bad. I've seen a lot of people do it. It's an old trope that I don't think ever needs to come back. And I would hate it. You're a wonderful person. For supporting the Bob Culture podcast. I just hate it.
I felt it was worth reading before we got out of here. It's very good stuff.
It is good.
Hey guys, before we get out of here, we're all about that shameless promo here on the BCP. Kimmy, tell them what you got coming up here.
I'm just gonna say one thing. See, I'm limiting myself. One thing. WrestleCade next week, best convention of the year. And I'm not just saying that. Sean Ross says that. And if Sean Ross is saying it, I'm damn right. So I am going to be with my favorite people in the world, the baddies. Because why the hell not? That's all I'm with. It's just the three of them. I am the fourth. I'm endorsed. Jade needs to know this. I almost told Tony Khan today on the media call. I was like, the fourth baddie is on this call, TK, just letting you know.
Get your stuff
but
in.
Yeah, if you're in the North Carolina area, you should come because Paige is the headliner.
Who?
So yeah, you should come. There's like over 100 names there, so come.
Are they doing
the WrestleCade website?
Are they doing the show again too?
They are.
Oh, nice, good. Those shows are always good.
Check out our friends Parker Kane Promotions down there as well. That's all you got, Kimmy?
That's it.
All right. Well, awesome job.
Yeah,
really great job.
Because I'm not going to sit here for an hour and go through every single thing I do. People get bored. No, and then this is when people log off. I know.
Check out Kimmy's recap of the media call of Tony Khan and her predictions in the third installment of Team Mike versus Team Kimmy with Mike Mueller and Kimmy on thepopbreak.com, both dropping tomorrow.
That's it.
Oh, you're so nice.
Bill, what's this popbreak.com you speak of?
It's a wonderful little pop culture website that I have been running for 13 years and named after the film Point Break. And I told Keanu Reeves that, and he looked at me and went, awesome. Whoa. True story. Wonderful man. Yeah, check out thepopbreak.com every single day. We're doing awesome stuff. Talk about wrestling, talk about film, TV, music, all forms of pop culture. We've been shooting a ton of great concerts. Go check it out. We're at... as long as Twitter's still around, we're at the Pop Break on Twitter. at the Pop Break on Instagram. If you must follow me, I am at Bodkin Rights, which is a whole bunch of wrestling references you guys will get. Most other people were just like, God, I think maybe he should start drinking again. This is very bad. What is happening? We'll see. Who's to say? But yeah, check out Pop Break. I'll be having a piece on Andor, Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. I co-host the Socially Distanced podcast. Socially Distanced podcast drops every single Friday. All your favorite streaming platforms. And this week dropped the final original episode of Bill versus the MCU, where we talk about Wakanda Forever, She-Hulk, and Werewolf by Night. And then the next month we're doing our award show. So check it out on the Breakcast feed on all your favorite podcast platforms.
That's it. Kristen in the chat, how y'all still awake? Darn it, Con, in your 12-hour papers. You ain't wrong. We're running long, but
I'm
it's
ready.
been a great show. I'm very proud of you guys. You ain't wrong, though. Warren, tell everyone where they can follow you, man. One of my favorite podcasts to listen to every single week.
You're too kind. It's always so much fun to come on the Bob Culture Show. I enjoy all of you so tremendously. It's always a fun time to talk with you. Thank you again for inviting me. The Mr. Warren Hayes Show. That's my podcast because that's what I do. That's what we all do, I guess. Not really, but youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes is where I record the podcast live every Tuesday night. On top of that, on Thursdays I do a deep dive into the previous night's AEW. So I do a Dynamite. So I do an AEW Dynamite review. That's it. Every Thursday. On top of that, that is pre-recorded, but you can also find everything on your favorite podcast platform as well. I'm there too. Twitter is on its dying breaths. You can follow me there if you want, if you're like one last go, it's kind of like, hey, the meteor is crashing into Earth. Should we make out? Well, why don't you come follow Mr. Warren Hayes before the planet explodes?
I would say that to my wife and she'd be like,
again is now. But Mr. Warren Hayes is where you can find me on all social media. And you can also, all my links are collected at koji.to. That's koji.to/Mr. Warren Hayes. Everything is there as well. I've got a Discord on top of that if you want to keep talking with people who enjoy professional wrestling. There you go. But youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes, that's not going anywhere. That's where you should go.
Love it. Last comment, Vince, the voice in the chat saying, still awake. Great work again, guys. I enjoyed it very much. You were all very knowledgeable. Thank you, everyone, for sticking with us. Great show, guys. Thank you for making the time. Check out AEW Full Gear this Saturday. Some of us will be at the Prudential Center, but get it, Bleacher Report, guys. And like we always say here on the BCP, everyone stay safe, stay positive, take care of each other. We out.
Tony.